If I'm live, hi. Give me just a minute. Let's see. It says I am live? That's wild. I shouldn't be live. The little live video says I'm not live. Uh, that's super fun. Okay. Um, hmm. Okay. Got it. If you can see me, if you are watching, hello. This is my first time ever going live on YouTube, and I am a little unfamiliar with it. I am using StreamYard so that StreamYard, wherever the logo is, um, so that I can use my fancy camera and my fancy mic, which, by the way, let me know. Let's make sure you can hear me okay. Um, I just wanted to use my fancy tech setup instead of like my laptop. So let's see. If you're watching, let me know if you can hear and see me. That would be really helpful. Let me know in the chat. Um, because Live Studio says I'm not live, which is weird, but I can see my live stream. And it says a couple of you are watching. So if you're watching, please go in the chat. Let me know if you can see and hear me. If no one comments that they can see and hear me, I'm going to assume that something is wrong. And I'm probably going to end the stream so that I can go figure it out. But yeah, let me know in the chat. And let me pull it up on my phone too and let's see if maybe the laptop version is not updating correctly. Um, oh my goodness, I have so many notifications. Not the point, not the point. Focus, Megan. Um, okay, me, view channel, going live. Okay, live chat. Close. Good. Okay. I I can hear you. Oh my goodness, Daisy, thank you. Bless you. Because I just wasn't sure if I was actually live or not. Okay. Hi, everybody. Hi, this is great. Okay, so let me open up my caffeinated beverage. If you have an Aldi near you, these Frost is like the knockoff of ice, and they make Frost plus caffeine now. I have tried the regular ice, but they're more expensive and they don't taste as good. So, highly recommend Aldi all the way. But it's like 70 milligrams of caffeine, so it's more than a cup of coffee, but it's less than an energy drink, which is kind of perfect for me. I get the black raspberry and the blue raspberry. Those are my favorites. But anyway, hello. Hi. So, if you don't know me, if this is your first time seeing me, or if you are new to my channel, hello, my name is Megan. I am an auDHD life coach for the neurocurious. I love working with people who think they might be autistic, they might be ADHD, but they aren't totally sure. I cannot diagnose under no circumstances. Can I diagnose? Like, not at all, not even a little. I can't even like hint towards whether I think you're autistic or not. I can't do any of that. Not ethical because I'm not a doctor, I'm not a psychiatrist, I'm not a therapist, and I'm not a like certified assessor or anything like that. I am a life coach. So I know some people are not totally familiar with the world of life coaching. So I thought I would just go over a brief overview of what life coaching is, how it differs from therapy, all that stuff. And then I thought I would go over ways that you can work with me right now because I am accepting clients in a couple different capacities at the moment. There's a couple different containers that you can join. So that's what we're gonna do today. Let me check comments and whatnot. Okay. So, what is life coaching? Life coaching is when someone uses their lived experience to help you with your lived experience. It's really that simple, okay? It relies a lot on, empathetic listening and putting the power back in your hands as a client, and it's not really me telling you what to do or how to think about things. It's more about offering my lived experience as an expander for you. Because I get a lot of comments from people saying, "Oh my goodness, I wish I could start a business like you," or, "Oh my goodness, I wish I was married like you," or, "Oh my goodness, I wish" like, not that everybody should wanna live the life I'm living, not that. It's just that sometimes as autistic ADHDers, as ADHDers, we get put into a very narrow box, right? And there are very specific and limited things that are expected of us and for us. And I think life coaching can be a really good exposure and a good way to be like, "Okay, here's another way." Think about that, though. Here's another angle to come at this from. And it's not always to be like, "You can do anything you put your mind to." It's not that. It's more just don't count yourself out until you've tried, you know? So that's a bit of what life coaching is about. Um, but a big part of what I do is I am autistic and ADHD and depressed and gifted and a couple other neurodivergencies. And my lived experience isn't gonna look exactly like yours, no matter who you are, no matter how alike we are in other ways, but there are gonna be parallels that you can draw from and that can help you. And that's a big part of what I do as a life coach. I draw some of those parallels and I say, "Well, when I was in a similar position, this is how I handled it. This is how I wish I handled it. These are the barriers that were in my way that you might not even be, realizing are in your way right now." So that's sort of the gist of life coaching. If you have questions, I've got the chat up here. So if you have any questions about what life coaching is, if you have any concerns about my qualifications, please ask. Um, I don't shy away from those questions. I'm not afraid of those questions. I think a good life coach, any good helping professional is upfront about their certification, their qualification, and their scope of practice. So, and I want to be a good helping professional. So I'm very upfront about it. So please, any questions you have, just let me know. So life coaching versus therapy. What are the differences? What are the similarities? Well, similarities is that they tend to take place in a very mental realm, a mental emotional realm, right? And they tend to be focused on changing your life for the better. And it's a helping professional helping you deal with life stress or with change or with um, mental health struggles. And in that way, they can look really similar, and sometimes people get concerned about life coaching, and they're like, "Ooh, it kinda just feels like the knockoff version of therapy that's, like, somehow also more expensive sometimes." So, I get that. But I want to go over some of the big differences. So first of all, therapists in some capacities are qualified to diagnose, whereas a life coach is absolutely not, right? Life coaches cannot, should not diagnose a mental health condition, okay? That is not our scope. Um, a life coach operates primarily, although they may also have academic or professional experience, most life coaches operate from lived experience, whereas a lot of therapists can operate from some lived experience, but they don't have to. It's not inherent in their job. Therapists, what's inherent is the degree, right? Whereas coaches, any good coach has life experience on what they're coaching on, in my opinion, right? So, that's a big difference there. Another big difference is licensure, okay? So therapists have to be licensed to a board, okay? Whereas a life coaches have no regulatory body. This is both good and bad, okay? The good side of this is that there are some therapists, not a bunch, not all of them or anything, some therapists who disagree with the licensing board and disagree with some of the expectations that they're being held to. And I know of some therapists who have left their jobs as a therapist to become a coach because they did not like being pulled into their board that they disagreed with in many ways. Um, Now, not every therapist is going to feel that way, and not every board is going to have the same issues because I believe there's like the American Psychological Association versus, UK regulatory bodies versus, other countries and everything. So, and I don't know much about that because I'm not a therapist. Um, Whereas life coaches, we do not have a regulatory body. There is the International Coaching Federation, and that is a pretty well-respected, widely regarded, organization in the coaching world. However, it is not a regulatory body. You do not have to be ICF accredited to be a coach. I am not ICF accredited personally. I don't know that I'm gonna get ICF accredited. Um, However, you can still be a good coach and not have ICF accreditation. Right. Um, Go ahead. Oh, no, my sound is feeding back. Thank you, Daisy. Hmm, let's see. How about this? Is that better, Daisy? Thank you so much for letting me know. Um, I was not aware of that. I have my sound off, so I didn't think it would be bad, but let me know if that's better. I switched the speaker to something different. So, yeah, let me know, Daisy or anybody else watching. I see there's like 7 or 8 of you. Hi, guys. Um, yeah, so that's I'm just gonna keep going, but I'll keep my eye out for a comment saying that the sound is hopefully better. If the sound is just horrible, I'll just switch to my Rode mic, like, I'm sure that's gonna be fine. But, I would like to use my Yeti if I can because the sound is usually crisper. Um, okay, let's see. Okay. So I'm just gonna keep like checking. I just keep waiting to see if the sound is any better. Um, what was I talking about? I was talking about accreditation, regulation. I think I've met some pretty unethical therapists in my time. I've been in therapy for 11 years now, and on and off, but I've seen a lot of different therapists due to, some of them being unethical, due to insurance changes, due to moving. So I've had quite a few different therapists, and um, I've met some unethical ones, and so believe me, having a regulatory board does not stop you from being unethical. However, I think a lot of people find comfort in that if you meet an unethical therapist, there is a board you can report them to, whereas if you meet an unethical life coach, you're kinda screwed. Unless they have explicitly breached contract, there's not a lot you can do about an unethical life coach. So be warned, just go in with your eyes wide open and understand what you're going into, right? Now, there are definitely unethical therapists. You can report them. Nothing is gonna happen though, in a lot of cases, but in some cases it might, and wouldn't that be great to have an unethical helping professional taken out of the pool, right? Yes, a bit. Okay. Let's see. Why don't I just switch to my Rode? It's fine. Um, okay. How is that? Is that any better? I'm so sorry. I'm just, like, messing up. Okay. Okay. Anyway. So, that being said, all of that being said, what are my qualifications? What are my certifications as a life coach, right? Let's talk about that. So, when I became a life coach, the advice I was given by a business coach that I think they have since sort of changed their tune, but the advice I was given was like the best way to become a coach is to coach. And to a certain extent, I still think that's true. Um, because it's really hard to get good at anything until you do it. It's sort of like when you're learning a confusing card game and your brother's trying to explain it to you and you just like can't focus on any of the rules that he's explaining and you're like, "Can we just play a practice hand?" Sometimes the best way to learn something is to do it. Now, that being said, I do think there is a lot of education around coaching that could have made me a better coach to start out with. I don't think I was a bad coach to start out. I just think I was inexperienced. I was green. But here's the thing. When I started coaching, I was very explicit that I was like, I'm not ICF accredited. I am brand new to this. If you sign up with me, you are one of my first clients. And I was just super upfront. I think transparency is really the key when you're working with a helping professional, right? Any helping professional, whether that's massage therapy, occupational therapy, regular therapy, coaching, psychiatry. You just want your helping professional to be upfront with you and honest and tell you what's up and leave room for you to tell them what's up? So that is better. Okay, perfect. There you go. Note to self, no need to use the Yeti. We'll just use the Rode mic from now on. So, okay, cool. Thank you, Daisy. You are the best. So, as for me, when I started coaching, I had no certifications whatsoever for about a month. Um, then I got a couple of clients and I was like, I should probably be certified in some capacity. Like it would make me feel better as a coach. None of my clients cared. Like they did not seem concerned at all. But I just felt like it would help me feel more prepared in my coaching sessions and give me more of a framework for what to do in a session and like how to hold space for my people. So I took a course. So there wasn't a coaching element in that there wasn't anyone practicing coaching with me, but it was just a basic video course from Transformation Academy in February of 2021, I believe. Um, I specifically took their course on emotional intelligence because I think emotional intelligence, it's just something that matters a lot to me. And I'm good at emotional intelligence. So I figured why not use my strengths to help coach my people with their difficulties, you know? So I really leaned into emotional intelligence, and that's what I got my certification in from Transformation Academy. They're a very beginner life coaching academy. I don't believe they're ICF accredited, but it was good information for me. I learned a good amount from the course. There was a lot of stuff I already knew just from my own research and from, I have a minor in psychology, so I knew a lot of it already, but there was a lot of stuff I also didn't know that was really helpful and beneficial. Okay, just checking comments. Please feel free to leave comments, ask questions. I am here at your disposal for, let's see, the next 20, 25 minutes. So, um, so that was the first certification that I got. Then I have done a lot of like business coaching on my own to train me to be a good business owner, but I also did a really interesting coaching like program. Again, not ICF certified, but it is how to be a good business owner for sure, but it was also a lot of like emotional work and mindset work, and going through that really taught me how to do some similar things with my clients, which was helpful. Um, but that's the extent of my certification. Now, for some of you, that's not going to be enough. You're going to want me or want your coach, whoever you decide to work with, to be ICF certified or to have a more in-depth certification program under their belt. And that's totally fair and valid, and you should trust your gut. But for some of you, that's not going to matter. You've seen my YouTube videos, you've seen my Instagram, maybe you saw back when I was on TikTok. You know that you want to work with me. You know that I know my shit. And you know that despite not being certified, I am pretty good at this. So if that's you, there are lots of ways to work with me, which I am happy to outline. But I do want to mention I am actually signed up, or I'm on the wait list for a coaching certification. It is the Wholehearted Coaching Certification. It is not ICF certified, but it is ICF aligned, if that makes sense. So basically, it goes through a lot of the same things the ICF requires, but it just doesn't have official certification yet through the ICF. But it's called the Wholehearted Coaching Certification by Sharon Eskandani. She's amazing. I really like her view on coaching. I really like that she's focused on decolonizing the way that we coach and approaching coaching from a very equitable point of view. She's really encouraging and kind. She's been through it herself, and I know she's operating from lived experience, which is really helpful. So I'm very excited for that. That will start in September, and I will be fully certified by March, I believe, of 2025. So it'll be a hot minute before I'm fully certified. So if you want to wait to work with me until then, I understand, and that absolutely makes sense. But if you're like, well, no, Megan's been coaching since 2021. Like, she does actually know what she's doing, even though I can always learn more. I can always learn more, you know? So, um, but I also think in the meantime, I'm still a very qualified and competent coach. So, yeah, let's see. Um, so ways that you can work with me. Let's go ahead and chit chat about that. So there are three main ways that you can work with me. Two of them are group setting, and one of them is individual setting. So if you are a group person, if you enjoy being around other people and having that accountability and community, there are two options for you. And then if you're more of a like, okay, I kind of have to do some deep work in coaching, and I don't want to do it with other people. I kind of just want it to be you and me. That's fine too. I've got a couple options for one-on-one coaching with me as well. So the first option, the first group option, I should say, is my monthly membership. It's called the Neurodivergent Clubhouse. In general, I've started moving away from using the word neurodivergent because it is such a broad umbrella that categorizes like so many different types of brains. And I don't really specialize in working with people with epilepsy or people with dementia or people with tic disorders, for example. My strengths really lie in helping people with depression or anxiety or auDHD, autism, ADHD. So I've usually started moving away from that word. However, when I talked to the membership, because I wanted to change the name, it used to be called the Neurospicy Club, which I still think is a very cute name, but I saw a lot of posts coming from people of color, especially South Asian and Latinx folks, saying they didn't love white people used that term. And I kind of get it. That kind of makes sense to me. So I decided to transition the name away from the Neurospicy Club. And I asked the people who were in the membership already, hey, what do you want this to be called? And we ended up voting on the Neurodivergent Clubhouse. I tried to get people to move towards ADHD, auDHD, neurocurious, and basically people said, no, we're neurodivergent. There's so many different neurodivergencies represented in this group, and we're not afraid of that. And I was, you know what? That's great. Whatever you guys want to identify as with, that's fine with me. So it's called the Neurodivergent Clubhouse. That's a long-winded way of saying this is one way you can work with me. I guess I just want to make sure people know I am very careful with my language now. I wasn't for a time. I would kind of use whatever language I felt like, and other people's opinions be damned. And I don't really feel that way anymore. So I like to be clear about my language. So what is the Neurodivergent Clubhouse? Well, it's a monthly membership and it is pay what you can. It is incredibly affordable. The starting price is $3 a month. That's the lowest you can pay, but you can pay more than that if you so choose, if that's financially accessible for you. Um, but it's pay what you can starting at $3 a month, and you get so much stuff in there. We do weekly body doubling, and we do body doubling multiple times a week in multiple different time zones. So if you don't know, body doubling is basically when you try to be productive around other people who are also trying to be productive. They don't have to help you. They just have to also be working on their own stuff. So we all just kind of work on our own things together, and it makes all of us significantly more productive. Now, I will say a lot of autistic people don't love body doubling because it feels like another reason to mask. So a lot of you watching are auDHD, so there's a chance body doubling won't be right for you. But I have found a lot of people find it very beneficial. So we do body doubling multiple times a week, every week. We do a monthly book club, a monthly group coaching call, a monthly guest expert workshop, a monthly work day, which is like half doubling, half coaching. Plus, we have a private Discord server, and we have a separate private Discord server specifically for people of the global majority and Black and Indigenous and people of color who would like to join the community and want a separate space, specifically for talking about what it's like to be BIPOC or people of the global majority and be neurodivergent. I am not in that server. I am not a person of color at all or a person of the global majority. So I actually hired someone from the community to run it, someone who's been in the community a long time, who I trust, who I interviewed, and who I really appreciate for running that Discord. So it's called Neuro and Diverse, which I kind of love. And they spent a lot of time setting it up really well. And so that exists as well in there. I'm currently in the process of cleaning up the Discord. It's a bit chaotic. I kind of let my autism get the best of me. I started categorizing everything down to teeny tiny details, and it led to a bit of a crazy, disorganized Discord. So we're working on restructuring. We're going to add in some bots to help us out with some stuff, and it's going to get better. But overall, the community there is really, really remarkable and really irreplaceable. There's just so many different people with so many different neurotypes and so many different points of view and lived experiences. And everyone is so kind and understanding. And no one in there, as far as I'm aware, is afraid to just ask for clarification or, hey, that hurt my feelings. Can you say it another way? We've had a couple of things like that, and they've gone over pretty smoothly, which I've been really proud of our conflict resolution skills in that group, because there are quite a few people in that group. There's, I think, around 300 people in the Neurodivergent Clubhouse. And with that many people, sometimes there can be miscommunications, there can be issues here. So I've been really proud of our ability to talk through things. So that is the Neurodivergent Clubhouse. It's pay what you can. It's monthly. I will go ahead and drop the link to join. Usually doors are closed right now, but I'm going to let you all in. Thanks for coming on my unscheduled live. So usually doors are closed right now, but go join. You have to make a monthly donation on Ko-fi in order to get the thank you message. The Discord link should be in the thank you message. So please email me and let me know if you don't get it, or if you accidentally click away from the screen before you can join, just let me know and I'll verify your email and let you into the group. So that is way number one that you can work with me right now. Way number two is something called the Get Shit Done program. And this is for people who really want to focus on productivity, people who need to be more productive, who need to get more stuff done, and they are just really struggling to do it, largely due to executive dysfunction. But there's a part of their brain that keeps telling them they're just lazy. They don't really have ADHD. It's not any of that. Or maybe they do have ADHD, but they should be able to power through, right? No. Executive dysfunction is very real. And I lost my train of thought. Hold on. I'll come back. Executive dysfunction is very real. And being productive when you experience executive dysfunction is very, very hard. And this is something I have experienced for my whole life, pretty much. And I've learned a lot of really useful tips and tricks and skills and strategies for coping with this and for being productive despite my executive dysfunction, and being productive in a way that works with my ADHD brain and not against it. And I would love to teach you those things. So the foundation of the Get Shit Done program is the Functional Freedom Framework, which is basically about finding freedom through your version of functionality. Everyone functions at different levels. Everyone has different needs and support needs, and that's fine. Basically, what we want to do is combine emotional skills with practical skills in order to get more done. I think there are some coaches out there who are like, oh my goodness, just use my ADHD friendly planner. And like, that's a very practical skill. And it's not that those planners are bad. Those planners are great. But alone, I don't think they cut it. I don't think they can do everything you need them to do. There's still the part in your head that says you're just lazy, you're just dumb, you're just a bad person, right? And for that, we need emotional skills. And on the same tact, like there are some coaches out there who are like, you just need to love yourself. And like, again, yes, and we probably need that ADHD planner, so it's both. We need both. And that's what I really prioritize in the Get Shit Done program. So what is it exactly? It's a course coaching hybrid. So there's a whole video course that you can check out at your leisure. It's pre-recorded modules. You can watch it anytime. Then there is coaching, live group coaching every single week. So Neurodivergent Clubhouse is once a month. The Get Shit Done program is once a week. So every single week, Mondays at 12:30 p.m. Eastern, we hop on Zoom together. There are about 30 people in the program, but there's usually only 5 to 10 people on a call. So you don't have to worry about trying to be heard over 30 people trying to get my attention. Usually I can coach everyone on the call if we are careful with our time, So that's the Get Shit Done program. It comes with tons of bonuses. I'll go ahead and drop that link for you too. Doors to this are always open. You can join this program anytime you like. Okay. You can join this program anytime you like. And I really love this program. I've been running it since July of 2021. It's had different names, it's had different structures over the years, but it's a really good program and it really helps people get things done and feel better about what they get done too. So I really like it. Really powerful. Cost. I always want to be transparent about cost. So the Get Shit Done program has what I call equitable pricing. So basically that means there are 3 price options that you can choose from. And there are also payment plans for each of those options, interest-free payment plans. So it does not cost any extra to use the payment plans. Excuse me. And basically you just choose the price point that will not cause you financial harm. I want as many people as possible to be able to join this program. And that means you may not be able to pay the most expensive price, or maybe you can't pay the middle price. Maybe the lowest price is the right one for you. And that's fine. The last thing I want people to do is to join my programs and end up doing themselves financial harm or causing financial stress. Because let me tell you, if you think you're not productive now, put yourself under financial stress and see how much less you get done. Financial stress makes everything worse. So let's not dive into that, okay? Please only join my programs if you can afford to do so. So the pricing for that, the lowest tier is $697 with a 3 and 6 month payment plan. So I believe you can join for as little as $117 a month if you use the 6 month payment plan. And that's a one-time payment, guys, for lifetime access. As long as this program exists, you have access to the videos, you have access to weekly coaching. And I did the math. If you came to, how many was it? Half of the coaching calls. So what, like 26 coaching calls? We came to half of the coaching calls for 1 year. Keep in mind, I've had this open for 3 years now. So there are people in there who have they paid once and they've had access to hundreds of hours of coaching with me. But let's say that you only pay attention to this program for a year and you only come to half the calls. That's still 26 hours of time with me. And I usually charge $200 an hour. So that would be what, 40, $5,200, and you're paying $697, right? And that's just the coaching. That's not even including bonuses. That's not even including the course. So I know sometimes there can be sticker shock when you learn about like people's coaching programs, but I like to show you the value and the reason it costs that much. You know, it's not like I'm just trying to see how much money I can get out of my audience. That's not the goal here. The goal is to make sure I'm being fairly compensated for the time and effort and energy that goes into it, and that you're getting a good deal on your end as well. I really try to find that balance. So that is the most affordable pricing option. The middle pricing option is $997. This is the base price. This is what it costs to pay for my time, to pay for Zoom, to pay for Web, to pay for a couple other things that keep the program going. So that's the base price. And then there's also the community supporter price, which is where if you want to support someone who needs to pay the $697 price, that's what they can afford, and you can afford to pay more, the $1,297 option is a really good one for you. This is for people who own property, have no major debts, and all of that. And the 3 and 6 month payment plans are available for all three pricing options. So even if you're like, well, I can't pay $1,297 up front, but I could do it over the course of 6 months, then there you go. That's totally an option. So that is the Get Shit Done program. Next up is the ways to work with me one-on-one. Let's see. If you want to work with me one-on-one, there is not a way to sign up directly for that because I like to meet with everyone who I'm going to work with one-on-one. Because I just like to make sure that we're a good fit and that I'm going to help you the way that you need, right? I don't want you seeing my stuff and you're like, oh, I really relate to her. But then it turns out that you have very significant food trauma and that's something you want to process. But we didn't meet ahead of time. So I didn't have a chance to tell you I don't work with food trauma at all. There were a couple of things, which we'll get into in a minute, that I consider beyond my scope of practice that I would recommend you see a different coach, a therapist, a loved one, all of the above. In order to cope with those things. So, but because we didn't meet, neither of us knew that. And then we're in kind of a sticky situation. So I like to meet with everybody. So if you'd like to meet with me, here is the link there is a link to book a discovery call with me. So a discovery call is just a quick half-hour meeting. It's just a chance for us to talk about what about my content resonated with you. Why are you looking for a coach? Why do you think I would be the right coach? Why do I think you would be a good client, a good fit? What do I and don't I, cover in my coaching? What's beyond my scope of practice and what are my areas of expertise? Things like that. So I just think the discovery calls are a really great way to do that. The discovery call does cost $15 to book, but here's a little secret. When you book, you also get a $15 coupon to my shop. The $15 is really just to make sure people show up to the coaching, to the discovery call, because when I had them free, and I did for a while, people just didn't show up like pretty regularly. And that is really hard on me as an autistic person, like to have my schedule so fraught like that. It doesn't feel good. So the $15 is really just to make sure you show up. You will get a $15 coupon to my shop. So, and there's plenty of stuff you can buy for $15 or less. So yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Are there any questions? I see there's a couple of you watching. Let me know if you have any questions or if I can, I don't know, answer anything for you. But one-on-one coaching, let's go ahead and talk about that. So I do 12-week packages with one-on-one coaching. Okay, we're good. We're good. Take a sip. So I do one-on-one coaching in packages. So 12 weeks of working with me. We meet every single week for 1 hour on Zoom. Um, and I lost my train of thought. It'll come back. We meet for 1 hour on Zoom every single week for 12 weeks. And the total cost is $2,000. And that's what the cost is. There is a month payment plan, which will that's the amount of time that we'll be coaching together. But there's also a 6 month payment plan. So if you're like, well, I kind of need a little more time to pay it off, you will continue paying even after we are done coaching together, though. So please be aware of that when you sign up for that payment plan. Okay. Um, and how one-on-one coaching with me works is it is highly customizable. It is incredibly personalized. This is not a cookie cutter approach that I use with everyone. There are a couple tools that I often recommend, but what we talk about is really up to you. And when I say that, I don't mean it's up to you like every week. I'll just be like, so what do you want to talk about? Like, again, life coaching and therapy are very different. But I've had some friends who have tried therapy and hated it because every time they go in, the therapist is like, so what do you want to cover today? What do you want to talk about? And it's like, they don't know. And so they end up not doing anything. And it just feels like they're paying to like small talk with someone, which they don't even like small talk. So they're like, this is the worst. We don't do that with coaching with me at all. Um, in our first meeting, we will make a plan. Okay. We will talk about what are like 3 areas that you are really struggling with. What are some of the barriers you're experiencing? What are some of your strengths that maybe we could play to throughout our coaching experience together? And we really make a plan there. From there, we make the next 6 weeks a plan of what we're going to talk about in each meeting. Now, I have some clients who are much more flexible. They don't really like sticking with the plan. We use it as a very general guideline. And then I have other clients who are like, nope, we need to cover this and this and this because it's on the plan. And that's fine. Either way is great. It's incredibly customizable, right? Um, so don't try to find it. It'll come back. Um, this is what it's like to have an ADHD coach, by the way. Sometimes I lose my train of thought. And that's fine. That's just part of being ADHD. It's okay. So we make the first 6 weeks plan, and then on week 6, we're going to do a check-in just to see if the plan is working well for you, if you feel we're covering the things you want to cover. Maybe something came up in the last 6 weeks, and we kind of need to revamp what we're focusing on. And then on week 6, we'll make the next 6 weeks plan. And the 12th week is always sort of a review week, a graduation week. It's a celebration ceremony for you, just to celebrate the hard work you put in to make a change in your life. And it's always a pretty emotional meeting as well because we really get to know each other. And it's very sad to say goodbye, but also that is the whole point. I don't want you all to need me forever. My goal is to have you on my payroll forever, or not my payroll, on retainer or whatever, have me on retainer. The goal is to work with you so that you don't need me anymore. So yeah. I need to learn to regulate almost every aspect of my life. I'm 64, trans, 3 years on HRT. That's amazing, Daisy. That's so great. This is 100% a trans welcoming space. I'm really, really proud of you for being who you are. I know your generation wasn't always super accepting. I hope they are now. I hope you have a wonderful and beautiful support system now. But also learning to regulate every aspect of your life. Holy cow, do I understand that? Attention, emotions, um, temperature even. I can't regulate my own temperature. There is something about my homeostasis like system in my body that doesn't work. So I super, super get that. Yeah, let me think. So if you need to learn to regulate, I actually have a whole one-on-one program called the Regulated Program. Now, this is my bells and whistles, everything over the top one-on-one package. So this is for people who can't afford, who feel that it won't do you any financial harm because it is $5,000 for 3 months for 12 weeks of working together. But you get so much stuff in there. So you get the 12 weeks of coaching, 1 hour each week, right? Just like with the normal package. You also get a monthly video lesson about the 3 main lessons of that program, which are, hold on, I haven't done this program in a hot minute, but since you mentioned needing to feel regulated, I feel like I should. Okay, so lesson number 1 is turning down the intensity. Lesson number 2 is feeling alive, and lesson number 3 is taking control, right? Without turning into like a micromanaging control freak type situation, right? So let me go ahead and drop that link for you just in case you're interested. If you're not, it's totally fine. Don't even stress about it. But um, so you get the 12 hours or sorry, the 12 weeks of 1 hour Zoom calls. You get monthly video lessons. So that's 3 video lessons. You'll also get a weekly private podcast that is made specifically for you, specifically about the stuff that we talked about in our session that you can listen to. And then in addition to that, you get daily Voxer support. So Voxer is like a voice memo. So you can text or you can leave me voice but you can message me literally anytime. You could be having a breakdown at 3 a.m. and you can message me. That's okay. Now, I only respond from 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. But you can message me anytime and I will catch up on those messages the next day or the next working day, right? So all of that, oh, plus you get my mental health tracker and a brief video explaining how to use it. So all of that is worth like $5,900, almost $6,000, and you pay $5,000. And again, there are 3, 6, or even 10-month payment plans because I understand this is a more expensive program. So that is an option if you are looking for some regulation. The whole goal, this whole program was really born of my own emotional dysregulation and my struggles with it. I would say emotional dysregulation is one of the most disabling parts of my auDHD. Um, and it's funny because I feel like people don't talk about it that much. You know, with ADHD, we talk about productivity, and with autism, we talk about sensory stuff and social stuff. But both of them really come with a lot of emotional processing difficulties and emotional dysregulation difficulties. And I feel like it doesn't get talked about enough. And it's just something I've always really struggled with. I've always been an incredibly sensitive person. And I've been labeled as dramatic, too sensitive, I exaggerate, you know, all this stuff, but I don't. Like, that's really what my experience is like. And I've been called melodramatic a lot. That's a fun one. So anyway, this whole program was really born out of my desire to help people like me, help people who really struggle with their emotions and don't know what to do. Don't know what to do because the doctors all say, ride the wave of your emotions. Don't fight them. Just ride the wave. And it's like, okay, but my emotions are not a wave. They're a fucking tsunami. Okay. I don't know how to ride that. No one can ride that. It just destroys, right? It feels like I destroy it. It feels like I'm bad. And with my emotions has always come a lot of shame. And that's a big thing now that let's segue into this. That's one of the 3 things I really specialize in. So my areas of expertise as a coach are internalized shame, emotional dysregulation, both of which we talked about, and then also executive dysfunction. Those are the 3 areas I feel supremely skilled. I feel like I've done a lot of work personally in my life. I've done a lot of work with my clients, and I just feel really, really qualified to work in those spheres. The areas where I would consider myself competent, but if this is the primary area you want to work on, I might look for a different coach, are burnout, career change issues, unless you're looking to start your own business, in which case I might be able to help somewhat, but I'm not a business coach. So burnout, career change, and dissociation. So I'm comfortable with those things. I'm knowledgeable about those things. I've experienced some of those things, but it's not as strong as those other 3 areas I mentioned before. And then there are the 2 areas that are just beyond my scope of practice. I don't touch them. It's not like if you've experienced these things, we can't work together. It just means that we aren't going to work on in coaching together. It's something for you to work on with somebody else. And that is sexual trauma and food trauma. Those are beyond my scope of practice. I cannot help you with those things. If it comes up in coaching, I might, allow our conversation to go there just so that you can get it off your chest, but only for like 5 or 10 minutes, and then I'm gonna start to redirect the conversation because that's not something I'm good at. It's not something I'm qualified to help you with. So, um, yep. Okay. So let's see. Oh, and there's one other way that you can work with me if you're interested. If I mentioned that voice memo support and you were like, wait, I want to do that, but like just that. Yeah. It's $500 a month, and you get access to me. You can memo me anytime at all, voice memo, text, however you like, and I will respond Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 Eastern. So yeah. It's $500 a month, and that's absolutely available. If you want to do that, go ahead and book the discovery call because, again, that's one-on-one coaching, and I would really like to get to know you that way. For the regulated program, if you are interested in that, just go straight to the regulated page. There's an application button. Fill out the application. I will check it later today and make sure, see if anybody filled it out and we'll go from there. The application is just a good way to make sure that people who are interested know like what they're getting and if they're prepared to like pay that $5,000, and if not, maybe what we could work out if there's a different coaching situation that would work better for them. So, yep. Okay, I have to go in about 3 minutes. So this is time for rapid fire questions. Any questions or comments that you have, now is the time to put them in the chat, okay? Now is the time. Um, Go ahead and throw them in there. I will be looking for the comments. Okay. This has been lovely. This has been so fun. I will probably do this more. I really like going live. It's really fun for me. So if you want me to like schedule lives, I'm starting to think maybe I will do like live on Fridays or something. And so I've been doing videos every Tuesday and Saturday, but I'm thinking I might do videos on Tuesday and then lives on Friday, just because I think weekly lives can be so fun, you know? um, let's see. Any other questions? Any other comments? Daisy, it's been lovely to chat with you. I really hope we get a chance to work together. Just feel free to email me too. I'll go ahead and put my email in the chat. Um, there you go. So Megan at theneuroCuriosityClub.com. And that goes to any of you, by the way, not just Daisy. You can all email me. And see if we can work something out, or if you have any questions or anything like that. If you missed the beginning of the live stream where we talked about, what is life coaching? How is it different from therapy? What are my qualifications? Feel free to, you can rewatch the live when it gets posted, or you can just email me. Either way works. Um, let's see. Any other questions? I see there's like 5 or 6 of you watching. Hello. Hi. So let me know if you have questions. I have to leave here in about 3 minutes, but I will wait. I will wait and answer questions. I can help with your sound issues. Thank you. Yeah, hopefully I've got it all figured out. I know you said it sounded a lot better, so I know next time. Thank you. Let's see. Okay, well, I have got to skedaddle, pick up my kiddos from daycare. If you want to work with me, now is the time to do so. I have 3, maybe 4 one-on-one spots left, and that's for the regulated program or for regular, like, just one-on-one coaching with me without all of the bells and whistles. Um, so go ahead and book a discovery call so we can figure that out, or if you wanna join the Get Shit Done program or the Neurodivergent Clubhouse, those links are also available in the chat. I believe all of our chat will be posted as comments. I don't know. I've never gone live on YouTube before. We'll see. If not, I'll put the links in the description or something. So, okay. Thank you all so much for watching. It was really lovely to go live with you and chat with you. I hope to work with some of you soon. Bye, guys.